Yes, good to have you. Thank you so much for joining me on the becoming journey. Yes, the becoming journey. I love who we are becoming. I love our determination. I love that we are willing to engage. We are willing to put in the effort. However, yes, it must be guided effort, and that is why I am here. We all have, these are sprints. We are sprinting towards the finishing line. The finishing line for some of us is quite far, yes, and no one says that you have to arrive and everything has to be, and that is it. And that is the human nature. That is the beauty of being human. That there is no single day you're going to say, oh, I have arrived and this is it. Yeah. Otherwise, the only arrival is when you're in the grave, because then you can't do anything. You can't put in effort. You can't dream. You can't have vision. You can't. While you're still alive, however, your life can be able to go from glory to glory. It can go from one place to another. It can become better, but that is a decision that you want to make, because life, if left in its neutral state, yeah, the only option you have is going down. Life does not, you do not grow or become better without effort. You do not grow or become better without discipline, without sacrifice, without wanting to, without the intention. We say that three things that guarantee growth. Number one is to be able to be to be intentional about your growth, and you're like, okay, this is it, this is what enough is enough. I'm starting the month of September, I'm starting the month of August, I'm starting the month of November or October, whatever it is. That is intentionality. And we say that it must be able, growth must be useful. It must be useful. You're not growing for your own sake. Yes, you're not just growing for your own sake. That is very small growth, very small growth. The growth that we are aiming at, however, it is significance, where you are just not living for yourself, but for other people as well. So your growth is useful. The more money, as in when you get more money, that you can be able to help others. When your marriage is better, that you can be able to hold other people's hands in marriage. That when you have gone through your own story and you have gotten to a better side of this story, so you can be able to tell other people how you actually got there. And that is why I'm in mentorship spaces. That is why I teach people, I train people, yeah, to be able to become better, to earn. And my heart goes out to the women. Let me tell you, there is nothing, my heart goes, I love the men. Yeah, men, I love you. Gentlemen, I really, really, really love you. By default, I know that my content actually helps you. I know my calling, my ministry actually helps you. There's so many that have even come through the mentorship. There are so many that are even on 100 days of becoming. But I will be very honest that when I was starting this journey, my heart was bleeding for a woman. My heart was bleeding for a woman that was in a place where there was no clarity, in a place where they were manipulated, in a place of toxicity, in a place of, of lack of growth, in a place where they were just nothing. Okay. Now, I wanted to empower that woman, and I still want to empower that woman, and I'm empowering that woman, and I have empowered thousands of women, not even thousands, but millions of women, to be able to go from a place where they are not seen to a place where they are seen, from a place where they are not heard to a place where they are not heard, where they're really heard, to a place where they can be financially independent, not begging, not counting on someone's mercies, but where they are financially independent, where they can grow their personal brands, where they can envision a future and work towards it, where they can grow as humans. So you see, and I'm not helping those women, or I'm not helping you as a woman to grow just for the sake of growth. No, you have to be very intentional about your growth. But number two, your growth has to be useful. I'm training you, or I'm helping you, I'm holding your hand so you can hold another woman's hand. That is why we leave no woman behind. That is how we leave no woman behind. Okay, and so the other third condition that guarantees guarantees growth is that it is continuous. Growth is not a place you get to and say, I have stopped, or this is it, I have grown enough. There is no enough growing. There is always more money. There is always more confidence. There is always more health, better health. There is always something better if you look at it. So that means we must be continuing. Okay, this has to be continuing. But remember, on this journey, we decided to come and pick up, or I decided to come back and pick up some of you that have made the decisions, but you are at your starting point of becoming, just to make sure that I give you the tools and I equip you to be able to move that journey, because you have to bridge the gap in between. You are where you are right now. You are being honest with yourself, and if you've not watched, you go back and watch day one, which was owning your starting. And right now we're talking about the power of simplicity. The power of simplicity. We complicate the journey to our dreams. We complicate the journey to becoming, so much so that we fail to even implement or even make decisions or even do anything, because we overcomplicate the procedure. And that is how I've seen so many people, when they come to me, they usually expect, I think, I don't know, whether they expect me to speak a different language or they expect to, because I simplify things that even a P7 dropout can be able to follow my blueprint and be able to get the same results like the person that has PhD. Why? Because it's not about having PhD. A PhD is nothing. Actually, everything is based on your personal experiences. Your growth, your real growth is not the books and the credentials that you have. Your real growth is the summation of all the experiences that you have lived on earth. Now, a P7 dropout has the same experiences. A P3 dropout has the same experiences. That means where we are in this world, the plane has been leveled for everyone. The plane has been, the terrain has been leveled for everyone. So you cannot give me an excuse that you are not becoming your best version, or you're not making money, or you're not living a happy life. Why? Because it is available to everyone. But we overcomplicate it. Yeah? And so when you hear people complicating things, then you think they're the right ones and you run towards them instead of writing towards those that are simplifying things, because then that means they have learned one or two things in their experiences and they have learned what not to do and what actually to do. All right. So number one, okay, everything has a season. Number one, everything has a season. If you want a scripture to anchor you in this, you will read Ecclesiastes 3:1. But everything has a season. Not everything belongs in the now. Now, so many of us are like this rat that is called Nsomba Byuma. I don't know how it's called in English, but it gathers everything. I think it is a kind of magnetized, that whenever it passes, close to any metallic objects, they all, come and they are attracted, or they are magnetized to itself. But so many of us are carrying so many things at the same time. Even when you're setting goals, you do not set 100 goals. Yeah, you do not set 100 goals. That's why we say between now and the end of the year, can you have 3 priority goals, 3 things that you want to achieve? Can we concentrate on those? You cannot say, I want to do this and then I want to do that, and then I want to do that and then I want to do that, and then I want to do that and then so they sound good on paper, but you cannot execute on all of them. Can you choose and say, I want to be able to gain a skill. This is a skill I want to gain, but this skill is a skill that it is actually going to open so many things. It's a skill that is going to change my mindset, but it's a skill that is also going to help me execute, and it's a skill that is going to help me monetize in less than a month. Guys, if I can have 7 sessions with you, even if it's daily, Monday to Sunday, and I have 7 sessions with you, believe me, and I take you through my signature framework, you can be able to start making money 2 weeks from now, or even a week from now, if you're really serious about your life. But some people think, getting money or even having a business, it has to be a product business, it has to be, as in there are so many options. We are in a world that has endless options right now, endless options right now. And we are in a world where people are hungry and thirst for simplicity, for information. There are so many parents, if you told them that I have this course or I have this checklist and I can help you, that, so you can be able to parent children that listen, children that obey, and children that are disciplined, then this is what you have to do. And you have a signature framework. So many parents will be running. They will be saying, you know what? We have tried on our own and we have failed. So if you have something and it is applicable and it is executable and it's something that can drive results, I'm so coming to buy that program. So if the program is $200 or the program is whatever it is, I am going to pay for it because I need help in the parenting, in my parenting. Or I need help. There are people that have gone for master classes for makeup. And they're like, you know what, I don't want to, I'm going to be creating so much content, so I'm not going to hire a makeup artist every time I'm creating content. I might as well just learn how to make myself up. You're just making a makeup masterclass where people are paying $200,000 and they come and sit and you take them through the daily office kind of look, the party kind of look, so what do you need to do that? You just need to be, to have experience in makeup artistry, but you also have to create a personal brand. You have to learn to create content, and you have to, I'm telling you all those things to show you that it's not as complicated as we think. It is not as complicated as we think. But we complicate things so much, so much. Okay, so everything has its season. And I want you to admit, you can't be the one saying, oh, I'm going to chase after that man, and I'm going to get married to the man of my dreams, and then I'm going to chase this, and then I'm going to chase that, and I'm going to chase that. Sometimes we just need to put our first foot forward and say, right now, it is time for me. I think I need, because even when I get the man of my dreams and we say we're going to wed, definitely there are certain costs that I cannot just put out there and tell my man, oh, buy this and then buy that and then buy this. You need to have money, your own money. Do you know how life is sweet with your own money? You can buy anything at whatever time. You can choose how you grow. You can choose how to invest it. You can choose. So when you say that, you know what, this season of my life, I'm going to concentrate on growing my income streams. I'm going to concentrate on gaining a skill that is going to expand my income portfolio. This season of my life, I'm going to concentrate. Let me tell you, when you concentrate on few things, then you're able to achieve even more things. So don't overcomplicate things, okay? This is not a season for everything. Number 2, complexity is a thief. Complexity is a thief. Hardening things, making them difficult is a thief. But simplicity is a multiplier. Simplicity. The moment you're like, okay, I want the simplest way to doing this. For example, I want to be able to buy the used clothes, second-hand clothes, and be able to sell them. Okay, so who sells these belts? Yeah, I can find them in town. And then how much do they sell? What exactly do I want to sell? I think I want to sell blouses, or I want to sell trousers. And I know a place where, there's, I can even start an online brand and start putting these trousers online, and people will be able to buy. People are putting coats, people are putting on blouses, people are doing all sorts of things to actually advance themselves. But the moment you make it so complex, and you're like, now, and sometimes we make them complex because that is the only way we know, the olden way of have a shop. People have businesses without having shops. People have online shops. Yes, people are driving their merchandise in their car and distributing around Kampala. And you want to overcomplicate because you have to have an address and you want to sit in a shop and everyone has to see the shop and say, wow. Like, who is fooling who? That is rent right there. Where are you going to get that rent? Do you have enough money saved up for the next 6 months for you to be able to cater for your rent? If it's not like that, then you're going to have to choose simplicity, because simplicity is going to be a multiplier, and maybe simplicity will get you to where you actually want to get. All right. Number 3, remove one obligation that drains you but adds no value. Because so many of us are doing so many things. We are doing so many things. But there are certain obligations that are not adding value to us. But we keep doing, we keep repeating, So, if it's something you're not supposed to do, I want you to admit and say, this is not something I'm actually going to do. It does not add value to me. Gossiping does not add value to me. Me playing nice, does not add value to me. No, it doesn't. Me saying yeses everywhere, it does not add value to me. So, I am going to be so serious to remove, even if it is one. And I'm like, let me just remove this from my whole life setting, because it is wasting my time. It is not adding value to me. And so I don't think I actually want it. It drains you, but it does not add value. I want you to look into your life. There is something that is draining you, and it's not adding value to you, but it is a leakage. Your energy, your mood, your everything, as in it is just a leakage. Okay, so I need you to treat it as a leakage. Look at your life and think of anything that is an obligation that breaks you, that drains you, but does not add value, and pluck it out of your life. We are supposed to grow, and we can outgrow certain things. We can leave certain things behind. We can put them aside to later come back for them. As in, there are so many options that you can choose, but deal away with the obligation. All right. Number 4. Greatness comes from doing a few things with excellence. And I think I've given the definition of excellence so many times, that doing the best that you can in this season that you are in with the resources that you have. Now, when you choose a few things, that means your focus is going to be sharp. When you choose a few things and you're like, okay, I want these 3 things. I want to be able to concentrate on these 3 things. I want to be able to hit. It's like someone trying to cut down a tree, and you have an axe that is blunt, and you're trying to scar the tree in so many places. You're trying to scar the tree. That tree is not going to fall like that. You have to be able to choose one point of focus and be able to cut that and cut that and cut that and cut that until you can throw the tree down. All right, so make sure that you do a few things, but do them with a lot of excellence. A few things, but do them with a lot of excellence. And you can choose. I want you to write them down. What are the 3 things that you're going to do? Or what are, maybe not just 3, but your greatness is going to come from doing things with excellence. From doing things with excellence. So, if you're on the journey of becoming, just know that few things. You don't scatter yourself so thin. You don't spread yourself so thin. You can't say, I want to do this, and then I want to accomplish this, and then I want to accomplish this, and then I want to accomplish. Before you know it, you have scarred the tree all over, but you have not been able to put it down. You have not been able to put it down. While a person with excellence is one that says, okay, I can be able to do this if I put this amount of time and this amount of focus, and be able to just do this until I am done with it. Now, that is excellence. That is excellence. And on your journey to becoming, excellence is paramount, is the most important thing. Otherwise, you will end up doing shoddy things, and people will be like, you know what, she's not who I thought she is, or he's not who I thought he is. You want people to be able to, want what you have to give, because it is excellent. All right, so let's go to number 5. Pick one focus task today and guard it like a treasure. Pick one focus task. So you realize that I'm trying to simplify everything for you. Pick one focus task in a day. Whether you're doing it in the morning or you're doing it at night before you sleep, as you journal in your book and ask yourself, okay, what exactly am I going to do, and what's going to be at the forefront of everything? What is going to be my priority tomorrow for me to be able to accomplish? Okay, do I need to make that call? Do I need to write a chapter in the book? Do I need to work out what exactly must I do, or am I supposed to do, to make sure that one task that I chose, I can guard it and I'm not going to be distracted. I'm not going, if I promised myself I'm going to write this ebook, or I'm going to, whatever it is in the morning hours, whoever is going to come, I'm going to tell them I have a deadline. Please come back after I am done at 2. Come back at 1. Come back. Why? Because you've decided to choose one focused task for the day and to make sure that you guard it like a treasure. Like you guard it like a treasure. Like it just doesn't get sabotaged. You know, no one comes and just takes it away, or no one comes and takes your attention away from it. Like it is that important. It is that important. And that is why we say living a passionate life is very, very important. Because if something is really, really important, then you're going to focus on it, you're going to make it a treasure, and you're going to make sure that you accomplish it. All right? We are on the journey of becoming, and I want to hear from you. Who exactly are you becoming? What do you envision? What are your dreams? As in, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? You must be very clear on the journey of becoming. You cannot give blanket answers. You cannot give dishonest answers, because this is your growth. This is your growth that we are talking about. This is your expansion that we are talking about. That is why we're talking about the power of simplicity, so that you do not go out there and complicate things. Some of us are drama queens. We complicate everything. And yet it's as simple as saying that, you know what? One focused task. I have priorities, and this is the order of my priorities from the top to the last. Do not invite your priorities and do the first things first, or do the last things first and then do the first things last. That's not how it's supposed to be. Okay, so choose one focused task today and guard it like a treasure. Number 6, pray for discernment. Discernment to spot distractions, dressed as opportunities. The discernment to spot distractions. Let me tell you, the distractions are going to be many. Remember, I said that disruption follows intention. The moment you are intentional about your growth, and intentionality, not just stopping at speaking, but at execution. You're like, you know what? I am going to do A, B, and C. I am actually going to make sure that I wake up at this time. I'm going to make sure that I do this and this, as in you have had the intent, and now you're putting that intention, you're rolling out that intention. Disruption is going to follow you. So distraction is also going to follow you. But pray for discernment. Pray for discernment, that when that boyfriend comes, you will know that this is a distraction, this is not just a boyfriend. That when that marriage proposal comes, you'll be like, this is a distraction, this is not a real marriage proposal. Okay? Whatever it is. Some of us, even when sickness comes, when, our friendships, bad friendships come, so many things happen in our lives, so many things, but we lack the discernment to spot and see that, oh, actually, it looks like a bridal shower or an outing, with this group of people. It sounds like fun, but I think it is a distraction, because I'm not going to be able to finish my book on time, or I'm not going to be able to launch on time, or I'm not going to be able. Why? You decided to see it as it is, and you're like, okay, that is a distraction. Discernment helps you to see past things. Discernment helps you to see around things. Discernment helps you to make sober, present decisions. Discernment allows you to make quick and swift decisions. Okay? That, you know what? No. If this is what it is, this is actually a distraction. It is not a blessing. It is not an opportunity. It is not, as in when you go for that job and they tell you to exchange your body for that job, and you're like, actually, this is a distraction. This is not something that I'm actually working towards, okay? It's not an opportunity. If someone is telling you to use your body so they can be able to give you, it's not an opportunity. So it is a distraction. So you see, you must be able to categorize the things that you're going through, the things that you've had, the things that into two, and you're like, okay, is this an opportunity, or it is a distraction dressed as an opportunity, so that you can be able to investigate it around, so that you can be able to actually deliver it with a lot of intention. Okay, so you realize that up until now, we say that everything is not is not, or it does not belong to this season. Yeah, it does not. Everything has its own season. Everything has its own season. The moment you know about that, you will not fight with people. You will not quarrel with people. You will not bring down people. You will know that everyone is on their trajectory. Everyone is on their growth to their day to growth. Everyone is trying to get somewhere, but everything has its season. Okay? The moment you know that, then that is going to shorten everything for you. And then we said complexity is a thief. Yeah? Simplicity is a multiplier. So take simplicity. Every time you need to choose simplicity, because it's going to multiply so many things. And then remove one obligation that drains you but adds no value. We talked about that. It drains you, but it adds no value. Learn to say no, and know that no is a complete statement, and say that no, it has a period to it, and I'm not changing my mind, because you will have thought it through. All right, so remove that obligation that drains you but adds no value. Make sure that you pluck it out. And then we say that greatness comes from doing a few things but excellently. A few things but excellently. Do not spread yourself so thin. Okay, look for those just few things that you can excel in. And sometimes you know what you can excel in. You know that, by the way, speaking is your thing. You know that studying is your thing. You actually know it. Yeah, but you're doing so many things, and yet you know that there are things that I can prioritize. If I put these three things at the forefront, actually most of the times this puzzle, when you put the three things at the forefront, the puzzle comes to it falls in place. Yeah, but if you don't have any kind of priorities in your life, that means you're going to be a mediocre performer in so many things, and you're not going to be excellent at anything. And then we say that pick one focus task today and guard it with like it's a treasure. Just one. You don't have to pick many. Just one. Okay, so you can be able to be on the trajectory of your own growth. And then we said pray for discernment to spot distractions. Yeah, discernment is the knowing. Yeah, the knowing beyond just the human eye. When you look at someone, discernment is more like looking at someone's soul, looking at what they are thinking about, and sometimes you've looked at people and you have sensed evil, or sometimes you've looked at people and you've sensed good. Sometimes, so discernment is huge, but it is part and parcel of the journey of becoming. You can never become without discernment. You can never become without knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't belong to you. You can never become anything. So make sure that you pray for discernment to spot distractions that disguise as opportunities. And I know that you can actually do this. And then number 7, create a no list. For the next 10 days, create a no list and say, I'm not going to take alcohol or wine, whatever it is. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to visit my friend and bang KB for the next 10 hours. And then, I stealthily go home. I am not going to respond to this message, this particular message. I am not going to be there. Certain chapters of our lives that we must be able to close. And the beginning phase of closing these chapters is you being able to have a no list and say, under no circumstance will I ever be caught doing this. Under no circumstance will I ever do this to myself. Under no circumstance. Okay, that is when your no's actually stick out and they fight for you, and you don't lose the time. You don't lose. Just imagine, if you create a no list, that means you know what not to do. Even when you attempted to do it, you will know that, by the way, I promised myself I will not do this. I wrote it on my no list, and I said that I'm not going to waste time calling so and so. I'm not going to waste time, buying this. I'm not going to waste time, doing all this, because this is all time wastage. Time wastage. For as long as you do things that you're not supposed to do, or you knew that you are not supposed to do, you are stealing on your own time. You are killing your own time. You are distracting yourself. And the things that should be on our own no list, by the way, are things that that sometimes we know they are not good. We know we are not supposed to do them, but we just find ourselves actually doing them. So that is where you need to ask yourself and say, okay, I need to do something different. If these are 10 things, if these are 7 things, if these are 20 things that I have vowed not to do, I am going to guard myself. I am going to guard myself and say, I'm not going to spend in this way, and say, I am not going to go to this place, or I'm not going to eat this food, or I'm not going to, as in, there are so many things that we can be able to write down, because on the journey of our becoming, there are things that we unbecome and there are things that we become. Like the traits of being disciplined, the traits of showing up every day even when no one is clapping, the traits of saving and creating emergency funds, the traits, there are so many traits. So on the other side of the positivity, there are so many things. You can write an endless list of things that you ought to do, that you've not been doing, that you've been procrastinating on, that you've been self-sabotaging about. Now, on the list of the no is where you put, this is now, the no list is the most important list. The most important list. Because then you are going to be able to remember and say, no, I said I'm not going to do this. No, I said I'm not going to do this kind of hairstyle. No, I said I'm not going to go to this place. No, I said, and you honor your own word. You honor your own word. So I want you to create that no list. Yeah, I'm very serious about this. Create a no list. Write them down and say, no, this one I'm not going to do. And this one I'm not going to do. And this one I'm not going to do. All right? And when you make certain decisions, there is a way God honors you. The people around you honor you. Even if it is to kill them, because sometimes we have said yes because we are people pleasing, not because that is what we ought to do. Yes. Or that is not because that is what we actually love to do. So I need you to check your heart. Okay? I need you to check your heart. The no list, for me, it has worked for me. When I say, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going, even if I say for the next 10 days, I'm actually not going to drink this kind of drink, or I'm not going, at least I've been able to fight some of those battles and I've gotten away with them just by having them on my no list. And I'm like, soda, no, that is out, completely out. No one is, I'm not doing this to myself. Sugar, I am actually not doing this to myself. I am not taking sugar. I want to sleep better. I want my moods to be better. I want to wake up stronger. I want to have better focus. I want to have whatever it is. So if sugar is a hindrance, I'm going to put it on a no list. Yes, yeah. If you are the kind that has been, you put in your own transport, you transport yourself to your boyfriend's place, and then whatever it is that happens there, and then you have to transport yourself back, my cue, that's what I said. You have to transport yourself back, and that has become a habit, and it's not just 1 year, 2 years, but it has become like, now, the thing is, some of your boyfriends belong to the no list. Some of you, your fiancés belong to the no list, where you say, you know what, no, I think I've had enough of this. I need to be able to change something. I need to be able to do something different. I need to be able to do something better than I have been doing it. What exactly must I do? What exactly must I touch? What exactly must I, in order to get to the life that I want to get? Remember, the reason as to why we're talking about all these things is very simple. The reason as to why we're talking about power of simplicity is that you will not overcomplicate the procedures. You will not overcomplicate the blueprint. You will not overcomplicate your work or your journey to becoming your best version. Because the moment you start complicating it, then you are delaying yourself. You are delaying something that you should have celebrated very soon. You are delaying yourself. Why? Because you have not taken charge of yourself. You are just complicating everything. And here, when our scripture for anchoring, that is 1 Corinthians 14:40, that says that let all things be done decently and in order. Let all things be done decently and in order. You cannot skip a phase. The phase that you're at, you can't skip it. You still have to work hard. You have to put in the effort. You have to, whatever it is that you need to do it. But just know, the reason as to why you're doing it, what you want is to simplify the systems, to help as many people as possible so that you are able to help them grow make the kind of life that they want to make the kind of money that they want to make, give them the mindset, the positive mindset to be able to be self-loving and to be able to help themselves out. But you cannot do that. You cannot do that if you have not gone through the power of simplicity and say, you know what? It might look easy, but again, it is powerful. It is mega. It's like the power of consistency. You don't need to, I think it's yesterday that I was talking to Mr. Sabiti because I have a bad knee and I have to work out every single day. And so I was telling him that, you know what, instead of doing a full hour, I will be doing, whether I'm doing aerobics or I'm doing, I'm on the treadmill or whatever it is, I need to be able to cut down on my time. Because again, I really want the cardio. I really want the workouts because they help to rest my heart. They help keep me healthy. They help me keep me sharp and keep me focused. All right, but I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to feel bad with my knee every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the time into a half so that by 30 minutes I've completed everything that I need to complete, so that I give enough time to my body, to my knee to heal until I do the workouts next day. All right, and it's amazing because then I'm simplifying. I'm making the job simple for me, so that I am able to work out. I am able to take care of my health. But again, I'm also not putting a lot of burden on my knee because it's already bad. At some point in my life, I got a sprain and I was in a cast for like more than a month, you know, and the surgery that was done. So I'm not going to quit the exercise that I have to exercise, but I'm not going to overcomplicate things that, you know what, I have to do 1,000 things and my head has to go here and my legs have to go here in order for me to feel like I have worked out. No, I can do very simple workouts, okay, and I will still attain the same results. Yes, I will still attain the same results, and I will be healthy, I will eat better, I will sleep better, I will have a sharper memory, I will have a more functional sense of focus, and I will achieve everything that I want to achieve, but I'm not going to overcomplicate this one thing. I think it's last week that I told you, even when it comes to workout, I decided to simplify things for myself in my morning routine, because if I have a harder morning routine or even a complicated morning routine, or if I'm totally out of routine, then it's going to be so hard. If I'm going to wake up and then I will start asking, now where are my clothes, gym clothes, where are my where are my shoes, where are my everything? No, I make sure that I simplify things for myself, because working out is not an easy decision. There are mornings you wake up and you're like, oh God, I wish today I just didn't work out. Now, if that is added to me looking for the gear and everything else, then it's complicated. I'm going to end up not actually working out. But if I already have my clothes sorted out, my shoes sorted out, and all I have to do is wake up, freshen up, and put on, and just go and start my workout, then then I have actually simplified things for myself. Success is not ambiguous. It is not ambiguous. We are the ones that have been infiltrated with the notion of work too hard. Yes, there's a place for working hard, but there's also a place for working smart. All right, so we need to simplify things, and that is why mentorship is so crucial, because mentorship collapses the time and simplifies the frameworks for you. Because if I've been in this industry for the past 15 years and I am giving you something that can help you start your brand in the next 1 month, and you can be able to be an authority, and you can be able to position yourself, and you can be able in less than a month, that means I have oversimplified things. And the reason as to why I'm oversimplifying things is that you will be able to execute. So I want you to look at your journey of becoming, because so many of us, we just keep complicating everything for ourselves. Yes, we complicate things for ourselves so much so that no one can even help us. No one or even knows how to help us, because we have overcomplicated the matters. All right, so in this in our chat, what I usually like to do is simplify things. I have given you 7 things. I have given you 7 things to be able to go and start doing. If you didn't have a pen and a paper to write these things down, and you're committing them to your brain, the same brain that is tired, the same brain that has been procrastinating, the same brain that has been overcomplicating things, the same brain, guys, I just don't know what you are doing. Yeah. Even getting a paper and a pen and writing down is you simplifying things for yourself and saying that, you know what, if something has to be different, then I'm going to do things differently. So I'm not going to make things so complex. I'm going to simplify things, because simplicity is a multiplier. And I'm going to know that everything does not belong to this season or has a season. So I'm going to pick what I am going to go with in this season of my life. In this season of my life, what am I prioritizing? Am I prioritizing health? Am I prioritizing family? Am I prioritizing finances? Am I prioritizing my confidence? Am I prioritizing my career? Am I prioritizing, what exactly am I prioritizing? Because seasons are there for a reasons, and everything has its season, and not everything belongs to this season or to now. So the moment you get to know about that, and you're like, okay, now I really need to engage when it comes to finances, I need to expand my income stream. So let me actually work on this particular thing. And can we, while we are at that, my request is one. My request is one, and it is not that big. Can you complete one thing? Can you complete one thing? When you set out to do something, can you complete it? Because so many times we think confidence is birthed, that we are waiting for confidence in order for us to actually do anything. Sometimes that's what we think. But again, confidence is birthed out of action. When you start doing something, when you complete a task and say, okay, I'm actually going to write a book, and you start and you write 1 chapter, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's not even as good, but the moment you finish that 1 chapter, there's a momentum that has been created, and you try to simplify, and you don't make the book ambiguous, and you just know that, by the way, I'm giving people a solution. I don't have to sound like I have a PhD. I don't have to sound like I'm a doctor. I don't have to sound, no. What I know is I have an experience in a place, in an area that I'm passionate about, and I'm going to write a book that gives solutions to people. And all of a sudden, you finish 1 chapter, the momentum has been created. You finish another chapter, confidence has kicked in. You finish another chapter, oh my God, you are on the moon. You feel like you're unstoppable. By the time you get to launch that book, when you're told to write another book, it's not going to take you even the same amount of time like you wrote last time. It's going to be maybe half, or it's going to be a quarter way. Why? Because you know, or you knew, that in this season, I'm going to concentrate on this particular thing. I'm going to concentrate on increasing my income streams. I'm going to concentrate on growing my finances. I'm going to concentrate on investing. I'm going to concentrate whatever it is. I need you to be able to complete one thing, because now that's going to set you up on the trajectory of confidence, on the trajectory of starting and finishing, on the trajectory of concentrating and focusing on one thing and being able to actually finish it. And the journey of becoming is not, there is nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new under the sun. Everything has been said, everything has been done. So the same things are the same things that we must be able to find out, how did she make it? And so you also start. And every mistake that you make is a learning curve. And you go ahead and actually do it. Remember, on these 100 days of becoming, for those of you that would love to join, you have a discount, a very big discount, okay? Just get into my inbox and write 100 days of becoming. We talk about all these things. We talk about the mindset. We talk about simplifying things. We talk about, and so that you can have measurable results, measurable results. We're not here to just joke and, just go through the pleasantries. No, you have to be able to have results, and results are going to come. That's if you're intentional that this is the journey that I want to be able to actually take. So the power of simplicity. I want you to understand that being successful is simple. Yeah, making more money is actually simple, very simple. But we know what to do, but we just don't do it. We fold our arms and wait for things to be done for us. And yet no one is ever going to have your best interest at heart more than you do. No one is going to. Yes, they will think well, they will wish you well, but they will also be busy doing other things. They will also be busy minding their own business. So can you take matters into your own hands and say, I'm not going to complicate things. They said, call Bahati. I'm going to call her and tell her that, you know what, I've been referred to you by so-and-so, and I would love to enroll into the mentorship. And then we will set the ball rolling. And you will find that you can get in without even paying the whole lump sum of money. You can pay in installments, but be able to change your life. Be able to change your life. I have seen so many women, so many people, so many women. Remember, my first love is to the women. The men, yes, by default you get my messages, you click them, you love them, and I love you too, and I love serving you. But my burden and my pain was mostly to a woman, to a woman who is shrinking, who is hiding, who is failing to make up her mind, to even decide on the simple decisions. Sometimes it's from the upbringing, sometimes it's from the traumatic events, sometimes it's from there's so many things that could have brought you to that place where you are languishing, you are lamenting, you are crying, okay? And you just don't know the next way forward. You just don't know the next way forward. So my pain and burden towards you was to be able to create the solutions and find out how can they earn money, and not just small money. How can they add value to other people and they are paid for the value that they are giving? How can they position themselves? How can they become experts and they can become thought leaders? How can they become the leaders that they want to be? Like how? Now, that was my mind, and that is still my mind up until today. Why? Because I feel for you. I don't want you to beg for the rest of your life. When you beg, your children become beggars. Beggars have no choice at all. And you might tell me, oh, I'm not a beggar. But if you are fully depending on someone else, that means you can never make decisions. You can never. You are waiting on someone else to actually make the decisions on your behalf. Why don't you simplify it for yourself? Why don't you simplify it for yourself and say, okay, I've seen these kinds of people. I've seen what they do, and I would love to do what they do. I have seen radio presenters. I have seen a TV presenter. I have seen graphics designers. I have seen for example, motion designers. I have seen camera people on cameras. I have seen, as in, what does it take to even work in a media house? What does it take? And when they tell you, oh, we have such a thing called the Spirit Media Hub, yeah, the Spirit Media Hub, where you can enroll to train as a TV and radio presenter, to train in still graphics, that is 2D, and to train in 3D, that is motion graphics, and to be able to train in production, and to be able to do, I mean, when you simplify yourself, is saying, you know what, I'm going to attain this skill, but I'm also going to be exceptional. I'm going to train in being a camera person. I'm going to train in being a producer. I'm going to, and this is not a small thing for me, I'm going to blow it out. I'm going to create a personal brand around it. I'm going to put my services out there. I'm going to, you know, and at Spirit Media Hub, actually, while you come in as a student, you have the time of your life to apply any kind of knowledge. You have the studios to apply, the TV and radio studios to apply. You have the daily work that is on the creative table to be able to help out with 2D and motion graphics. That means you have hands-on. We don't give you theory. We don't give you theory. That means you have hands-on, a skill that you can say, okay, I've gotten this 2D. I mean, there are so many people that would love graphics designs, so I'm actually going to start marketing myself so that I can make some money on the side. Now, what more simplification do you need? You know, we make it so hard. We think, okay, in order for me to even learn this, I think I have to go back to university, but I have no points. I even don't have papers to get me into university. Guys, there are people that have been doing what you want to do. They can mentor you in doing it at a fraction of a cost, But you're overcomplicating things. I don't have credentials. You know, I didn't graduate because I didn't finish my money. And, you know, because my parents. And because this is not time to point fingers at your parents. This is not time to point fingers at your husband. This is time to take personal responsibility. To take personal responsibility and say, I got myself here and I have to get myself out of this ditch. I have to get myself out of this mud. I have to disentangle myself. That is what a growth mindset looks like. That is what a simplified, you know, growth looks like, where you don't need to explain so much to everyone, but you know that if only I can be orderly, if only I can make that phone call, if only I can go and knock on that door, if only I can take that later, yeah? If only I can request so-and-so to mentor me. If only I can, and then you also have mercy on yourself and say, let me implement, let me do what I have to do. I've been told what to do, so let me go and do it. So as you do it, you'll begin as an amateur. You begin as trial and error. You begin with hesitations. You'll begin with so many filler words. You will begin, but the point is you have begun. Because let me tell you, starting is the problem. The main problem that we have is people don't start. People die in the valley of decision making, in the overthinking, in the over planning. You're planning to plan and you're thinking to think, and you're still there. The biggest problem we have is people not taking a step. Yeah? But I don't want that to be your hindrance. When we say the power of simplicity is when you ask yourself, what can I do today? What can I do now? What is my next best step? What is my next best step? And believe me, when you find your next best step, you're never going to turn back. You're going to go on. You're going to go on. You're going to look at the sacrifices. You're going to look at the time that you put in. You're going to look at every aspect of every investment that you have put in, and you're going to say, no, you know what? Let me just bring it to its accomplishment. Let me just finish this. Remember I said, finish something. But more than anything, start something. Start that business, start writing that book, start that weight loss journey, start that whatever it is that you need to start now. Do not give yourself, because sometimes we have a way of saying, oh, I will start on Monday, or I will start when the new month begins, or I will start. The same energy that you're procrastinating with right now is the same energy that is going to be on you in the next month or in the next week or whatever it is. So the best thing is to simplify it for yourself and face it now. Yeah, you face it now and grow. You face it now and become successful. You face it now. All right? So I don't want you to push into tomorrow. I don't want you to push the responsibility on other people. No, I want you to know you are the only one that is going to save yourself. The decisions that you make, the actions that you take, you are the only one that is going to save you. All right? So let all things be done decently and in order. Let all things. And when it comes to prayer, I pray that you will pray that, Lord, strip away all the noise, because let me tell you, there are so many noises in this world that are they're making life so complex. We are hearing so many voices. We are hearing so many inputs. Everyone has something to say. Everyone knows how to say something. Everyone. So we are in a world where we are bombarded with voices, with noise, with so many things, distractions. So many things come at us. But when you pray, I pray that you pray. You tell God that strip away the noise so I can focus on what truly matters. That means you must be able to have the discernment to know what truly matters. To have the discernment to know what truly matters. If what truly matters is growth in my finance, I'm going to. If what truly matters is growth in my family, if what truly matters is growth in my personal brand, if what truly matters is growth in my decision making, what truly matters, strip away all the noise. And that is what I'm praying for you, that God will strip away all the noise so you can focus on what truly matters on the journey to your destiny, on the journey to your becoming, on the journey to becoming the best version of yourself. To strip away all the noise, to quiet down all the noise. And I pray that you have the audacity to pull everything down, to quiet everything down, so you can have a sense of focus on your journey of becoming. All right, if you can share this with as many people as possible, please go ahead. We want to be able to help people make the decision to become who God created them to be, so that they can live life in abundance, thriving and flourishing, instead of survival mode all the time. Okay, bless you, bless you.